Yo, so guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of our MotoGP25 career mode. Today with episode 10 for the Assen Grand Prix, the Temple of Speed. Looking forward to this one after a tricky Grand Prix out in Mugello. Make sure to check that one out if you haven't already. And without any further ado, let's go straight down to the grid.
Race day has arrived here in Assen. A huge crowd has already packed the stands. Everything is ready for the traditional Dutch Grand Prix. Just a few more moments and we'll switch to the starting straight for the Moto3 class.
Right, here we are then, trackside. As you can see, variable weather once again, but a lot colder and a lot more darker and gloomy in the sky compared to Mugello. But down to the starting grid then, Angel Piqueras once again on pole position, the rider that is looking to chase us down in the World Championship, hunt us down. He's going a good way about it. Pole positions again. He is definitely the rider, probably you have to say, with the best form on the Saturday. He's constantly getting pole position. Kelso in the middle of the front row, he's continuing that good form that he showed in Mugello and throughout the season in general, to be fair. And Cormac in P13 after that disaster in Mugello. Hopefully this time round he can actually bring the bike back home in the points. P13, we're P16, a couple points behind, a couple places, sorry, behind. Again, just a difficult quali. I wouldn't say there was any particular, reason to be this far down. I think we're just struggling on the Saturdays a little bit more than what we are on the Sundays. For some reason, when the bike, has the full tank, I think we're just a bit quicker than what we are in the low tank. But here we go then, down to the grid. Angel Piqueras will be looking to actually cross the line first and win this Grand Prix, unlike Mugello. And we're going to be looking to make a comeback as per usual. 5 red lights are on and 5 red lights are out. This time nice and quick as Piqueras gets a good launch this time, but Kelso maybe an even better one, although he has barged into Piqueras and then into Quiles there. So it's going to be Piqueras then that maintains the lead over Kelso, over Quiles, over Forasato, over Bertele. And we've had a pretty good start. As you can see, we've latched onto the back of Rueda, I believe this is, and we've had a really good start. We've got ahead of our teammates, so we had a very good turn one. As you saw briefly from the replay cameras, we chose the outside line instead of getting involved in the melee, and then through that tight little hairpin there, we even managed to get up to the inside of Foggia, who is coming back at us though. Through this very scary flip-flop turn 6 and 7. We are going to muscle it out and have that inside line for turn 7, although it might be coming back at us here for turn 8, and no, not quite, luckily for us, so we can keep this bit of fresh air, bit of fresh tarmac in front of us, and a couple bike lengths to kind of use into these braking zones. But yeah, really good start from us, P16 to P8, and like I say, it was the turn 1 and turn 2 line, and then that tight line in the hairpin really helped us out. It wasn't like Mugello, where we just kind of got him off the line. A teammate picking up a warning already in the Grand Prix, so that's not ideal, as we pick up a warning ourselves, a little bit of a sympathy warning there for Cormac, so he doesn't feel alone in this. But in terms of the championship, as you can see, it is getting a little bit closer for comfort between me and Angel Piqueras, so we need to have a good result here as we close a lot of time into that hairpin, into that very fast chicane there. We had, like I said, we had that bit of fresh air, so we had that little bit of a margin to break a little bit later, and we're trying to go around the outside here of David Munoz. This will be a great move if we can hold it, and it looks like we are going to succeed in doing that. So P7 now for us, obviously coming from P16, so we've had a really good initial phase of this Grand Prix as we have a look at Lunetta, who even just kind of lets us by, really kind of sits up. He might have heard our bike coming from an obscure angle, and he thought, oof, maybe he's overcooked it, let me just sit up. But easy for us. And as we go back on board with the leaders here, Piqueras is under pressure now by Kelso, so it's not looking like he's going to quite, just stretch away in this Grand Prix like he did in Mugello. It's all pretty close for comfort for him right now. You got Quiles in third, Forasato there, you got Bertele at the end of the train here, and we're trying to get ourselves involved. Obviously, we've got by Lunetta now with a nice easy move. Seems like that hairpin is our favor overtaking opportunity around this track. I think the AI, they just kind of leave themselves very vulnerable with the wide kind of entry line they take into there. But let's see what we can do then, because we don't want to drop out of the slipstream. Like I said in Mugello, if you know, even though you have the same pace as the riders ahead, or you might slightly be faster, if you don't have the slipstream, you're kind of cooked. So once again into this final couple corners here, we close it up again, although this time round we don't quite get the drive we would have wanted, and David Munoz then gets back around us, but we are going to go around the outside. Oh no, I mean, it's going to be a bit closer this time, a bit tight compared to the first attempt, but we are still going to pull that move off and slot ourselves in front of the Dynavolt bike and pursue Bertele once again. But yeah, that time round we just didn't get the drive that we wanted to come out of that corner, as I think that is that Rueda looking to try and get a move on Lunetta there in the background. Couple riders looking to get some overtakes done. We've got a group at the very back there kind of detaching themselves from the rest of the field, so I did see a Leopard involved in that. So Leopard, they need to be analysed, you know, the loss of performance. I dare say Fernandez, who was originally looking like a title contender, is he's probably fuming with the team, and Almanza, they're probably least from happy. They're having really shocking weekends lately, as we ride on the back of Furusato here. A little bit of contact into turn 9, little bit of a rub, but we do get that move done then and sort ourselves up into P4, and now we can chase after Maximo Quiles, who has a little bit of a neutral feelings with us. We've got good vibes with Kelso, and I believe good vibes with Picaris still, whether that will last long or not, as the championship kind of tightens up a bit and gets a little bit more intense for us as we cut across the grass there. And luckily no warning for us, seemingly. But again, then into these final corners, it seems to be one of the only points on the track, I would say, apart from maybe that hairpin, where we gain time on the AI. Everywhere else is pretty equal. So we're kind of needing to nail those last corners every single time if we're wanting to fight these riders up ahead, as we get a little bit close through turn 1, but we kind of mess up turn 2, and it's kind of set us all wrong for turn 3, as we get another track limit, and we're off again as we have a bit of a moment over the curb, another track limit, but more so, we almost come off the bike there. So that was a little bit of a heart in mouth moment as we lose a position once again then to Furusato on the Honda, who is going really well. I mean, we've got Lunetta in 7th there, but Honda in this specific career mode, they are really struggling at this point of the season. But we still see Furusato roaming about in the front leading group. You know, maybe he's not exactly winning races, but you know, he's up there getting points, getting those P4s and stuff. Obviously he won that last race, so all due to penalties, but you know, he is pretty much the flying flag for Honda at the moment on that Team Asia bike, as we're trying to close back up to him. He's closed up quite quickly to Quiles and co, so he's got good pace. Unfortunately, we haven't quite stuck with him, as we've got Bertele and Lunetta here right behind us. But yeah, unfortunately, it's one of those ones again here in Assen where I was surprised that I just couldn't be quick, you know, because a track I really like, and a track obviously we've done for so many years on all the games and really enjoyed. And to not be particularly fast was kind of surprising. And then you see your faster tracks where you don't particularly like going, and you think, oh, what's going on here? But into turn 1 then, oh, really close there with Furusato. And we made a little bit of contact with him. Nothing too dramatic as we go around the outside, but it was a bit of an unplanned move because he was sort of messing about with Quiles a little bit, and we got caught off guard. We got yellow flags as David Munoz and Foggia are out of the Grand Prix. So I know Foggia definitely went down there. Maybe David Munoz was already out of the Grand Prix, but bizarre place to crash there. It would have been interesting to see what actually happened to Foggia into what I think was turn 3. So interesting from the CF Moto. They're not having the greatest momentum right now in the season. I know we've got Quiles here fighting us right now for P3, but they've had a lot of crashes lately, and they're pretty much out of title fight as we're looking at the front two. We're kind of hoping here that ideally, obviously, we want to win the race, but we are very much hoping that Kelso can kind of get by Picaris here. If we're going to be in P3, I'd much rather these two in front of us just flip over, because as you saw on the little graphic there, we have about 20, I think it was 23 points as Kelso goes for the lead then on Picaris. So that'll be a couple more points in our favor, and look at the momentum that we've got there with that surprise move that Kelso pulled, but we're not going to be able to unfortunately do anything about it, and we've kind of been forced wide too by Picaris. We've got a faller in the background. Please don't say that was Cormac, because it kind of looked like a red and white bike as we come across the line then to start the final lap of the Grand Prix. Kelso has pulled a decent gap there with that surprise overtake that he pulled on Picaris, as Kiles gets by as we make a bit of a mistake, but that switchback should get us up the inside again into turn 3 as we get really close there for Osato, trying to ride under us all, and he has got that move done, but into this hairpin. Like I say, this tight line just seems to work to at least get overtakes pulled. You're not going to have the best run onto the straight, so maybe not for quali, but in the race it's a good line, and we get ourselves back into P3. Picaris then catching up to Kelso. Is he going to be able to get this move done? We've got half a lap left in this Grand Prix for the battle of the lead here between the same riders that were fighting in Mugello. So momentum is with these two right now, you have to say. We're in P3, so you know we're still doing well, but we've kind of lost a bit of performance, I would say, on the Saturdays, which is kind of hindering us in terms of our races. But here we go then into the last sector. Kelso is not being threatened on this last lap, but Picaris is getting a little bit closer. The bikes are wobbling about a little bit, so you can tell the tyre wear is kind of cooked on these riders. But unfortunately, we're not going to be involved in this battle for the lead. It looks like P3 is going to be where we're going to finish nice and safe. But let's see then into the final chicane. Is Picaris going to do anything? Is he going to get the drive? He's too far back to actually try and overtake, and it doesn't look like he is going to be able to get the win. Kelso then takes the race win over Picaris. We get ourselves up into P3, which is a very good result considering, you know, where we came from. Fortunately, it wasn't Cormac who crashed. He's there in P11, so finally getting up some points for us, and his race pace actually was pretty good. I mean, that's faster than us, I think. So that was a good weekend. I mean, we've had a good couple weekends now with Cormac, so maybe big things might be coming from him. In terms of the championship, 28 points for us. In team championship, we've got 6 points over MTA, who now jump MT by 3 points. So closing up between us three. Leopard, like I say, they kind of dropped the ball a little bit in this season. Their R&D program, I think, has maybe gone the wrong direction, or maybe they're just not upgrading the bike. I'm not really too sure what has happened with Leopard. They've dropped down the order incredibly. The performance is just not there anymore, and like I say, I dare say Fernandez is probably fuming at it, because you know, at the start of the season he won 2 races and he was competitive and very fast, but yeah, now he seems to just be an irrelevant character really in the World Championship. But yeah, let's sit down with the team then and have a word. Obviously last time we focused on frame, and I think in general the bike at this point of the season kind of felt pretty good to me, like in most areas, so I kind of didn't really know what to kind of further develop. So I just said to the team to just kind of you know, we'll continue with the frame and, you know, continue the direction we're going, but you know, I didn't want them to switch it up too much. Like I say, there, changing the direction is a nightmare, so I wanted them just to keep going where they were going with it, because the bike feels good. I just didn't really know what to concentrate on, you know, more specifically for this end kind of part of the season. But Kelso, then, it was a good weekend. We're in front of Jamie Randall, blah blah blah. It was a good weekend for him. And Raider then, Blue Crew Yamaha. Again, I don't know why everyone is talking about this Blue Crew Yamaha thing, but yeah guys, that is the end of this episode. I will see you with episode 11 at the German Grand Prix very soon. So leave a like, subscribe for more content as always, and I'll see you there very soon.